Thank you very much, Andrew. And I just want to say it is my extreme honor and privilege to welcome our friends from Australia, Minister Pat Conroy, who sits on my right. And because it's a rugby league moment, the chairman of National Rugby League, Mr. Peter Valandis. Thank you very much for sitting with me at the head table. I want to appreciate the delegation that came in. Minister Pat flew in this morning all the way from Fiji. I took the flight last night, and for those who think that traveling is a life of fun, it is rather unpleasant when you travel and sleep short hours and you wake up to your next appointment. And I just want to say thank you very much. You look much fresher than I look this morning. And High Commissioner, of course, I appreciate your energy and your enthusiasm for our two nations' continued partnership. I'm purposely wearing this cap. Usually I don't wear a cap out on occasions like this. But to every Papua New Guineans and Australians in the house, in room today in this momentous occasion, we've been working together 50 years when PNG took independence. This cap is labeled 50 years of shared partnership. And you will start one time side by side together since 1975. And so the story is about us, two nations, 75 to 2025, but more importantly, the construct of what the nation and the two-nation relationship must be beyond 2025 into the future. A future must be constructed today. And in a nation of so many divisions, whether it's divisions along politics, along Christian church affiliations, or tribal affiliations, sports does unite, and for us, Papua New Guinea, it is rugby league that unites this country. And in this vein, I am totally pleased. I want to say on behalf of the 11 million plus people of our country, I want to say thank you to the Australian government. Firstly, for you standing side with us in this venture towards uniting this diverse nation. Your investment in the next 10 years, over $600 million into this program, is not an investment in vain. Firstly, you're securing the home that is a country that is a home to over 5,000 Australian investors who live and work and operate here. And secondly, you're securing a country that is home to your closest neighbors. As Melanesian countries, we are kinship, we are bond, and as I mentioned in Canberra, we joined at the hips forever into time. And it is our generation's time, as it was Golf Whitlam and Somara's generation, that bettered this relationship in 1975. It must be our generation's time to anchor this relationship, bolt it deeper, and ensure it flourishes for our children to thrive and live and enjoy as they all live in the future we're creating. So thank you that National Rugby League has caught on to the vision. They have many competitions for our space in NRL, but they were kind enough to see our bid on the merit of the bid. Whilst the two governments stood right behind giving support, the merit of the bid eventually secured our place as the 18th team to run on Game Time 2028. I came to Minister in 2008 when the first vision for our team in National Rugby League was bettered. Today it is really my honor and privilege. Over 17 years later, that dream has come to pass. And today we no longer beat him, Mr. Valandis, and your board, Mr. Abdo and your executive. I just want to say thank you very much. You will not regret this move. We bring to you 10 million new viewers into the game of rugby league as we go forward. And it is my honor, thank you for giving me the opportunity to announce the board. The start of this team, today's occasion is principally for me to announce the board. They will be running this team from a business perspective. Two governments will stay away from it. We will give support, but we will have no hand in the way the team is run. It is a sports and sports business, and we will be running it. I want to say and announce to the country the appointment of Mr. Ray Deep, a renowned rugby league personality and a businessman in himself, as chairman, inaugural chairman of our team. Mr. Ray Deep, you amongst us, can you stand up? You will be employing me as your water boy in 2028. And so I just want to say thank you. He was have strong experience in Bulldogs Club, formerly Bulldogs CEO, but he's an entrepreneur, a strong businessman himself, rugby league administrator. He is the inaugural chair of our team. I want to also announce our sister Lorna McPherson, who's been involved in rugby league for as long as we've existed. Lorna, you can stand up. Lorna is in the board and she continues to give her time. Lorna, we like to be, but thank you too much. Continue to love rugby league, now you start better here. I want to also take this time to announce Mr. Stan Joyce, also in our team. Stan Joyce, for those who enjoy SV Cup, he's the father of SV Cup in our country. So we'd like to thank you, Stan Joyce. Thank you, you kiss him this time, my board member. I want to also announce with Mr. Pegum, Richard Pegum. He's not here, but he's the chairman of the Mayu Resource. They venture into producing lime and clinker and cement for the first time in our country. He's also been picked to be on our board, as he brings to the table a lot of expertise in finance and investment sector. And I want to also announce also Mr. Wapu Song. He's not here, but he's in the board. Our MD for Kumul Petroleum, Mr. Song, who's been a strong hand in pushing forward this bid. He's the chairman of our PNG bid when we were in the bid stage. Please pat him on the Wapu Song. He worked tirelessly. Wapu, Andrew, the team, Stanley's in the team behind, they worked hard. I will also announce Mr. Turita, Ian Turita, one leader from Email country in as far as business and private sector is concerned. Ian also is in our team board. And of course, many years back, I wasn't a good rugby league player, but I used to bump into him in this oval. He was a better rugby league player than I was. In 1991, 1990, 91, 92, 93, he made it all the way to be our country's first ever successful and long-serving rugby league player. Marcus Bai is in our team. Marcus, thank you and accept it. Marcus Bai is in the team. He brings to the table also from the player perspective, local player perspective, and that contribution to the board will be complimentary. Way and peace, you got Marcus here, and I want to say thank you. This is our inaugural board, the board of 8, and to the country, we are privileged that NRL will have a strong hand. We've been given extraordinary privilege. I think that privilege has not been conferred to other teams like Perth, but for us, as a country venturing into sporting business, we will have the partnership with NRL going on into, I think, 5 years, 10 years, 5 years or so until we are ready to run our team ourselves. So for us, having competency at the board level and competency at the business unit level ensures we not just game ready in 2028, but more importantly, the team is sustained going forward into the future. And to NRL, I want to give you our fullest assurance. Government of PNG stand ready. It is part of our national unification strategy at our 5th year and going forward, using rugby league as a catalyst to unite our country. We're opening road from here to Lae. By the time it is game ready in 2028, people from the Highlands and Mombasa should drive in to watch the game and go back after the game. We also opened road already from Alatau into Port Moresby, so Port Moresby will not be isolated from connectivity outside. This stadium will be the home of game in the first 10 years as we prepare also our permanent home at the Sahib and Mali Stadium. On this note, thank you to us. Thank you to us, each and everyone showing up. It is a honor and privilege for me now to pass the mic to my good friend. Pat, I just want to say thank you. A tough time facing election, it was not easy parting way with $600 million. And you saw the need as much as we saw in uniting this country behind rugby league. For us, it's not just rugby league as a sport, entertainment and business. It was a national unification strategy, just like Mandela, who used rugby union to unite South Africa in the 1990s. We want to unite this diverse nation beyond rugby league, beyond one team. It will be one team, one people, one nation going forward. And I will pass the mic back to you. After we retire the formalities, I will announce a competition that will coincide with this moment. Thank you, Thomas. Pat.
Thank you, Prime Minister Marape, for being here and for the opportunity to say a few words before we open up for questions. We are at the heart of rugby league, not just in Papua New Guinea, but in the world. The first State of Origin game was played on Papua New Guinean soil 80 years ago. We should never forget that. The birth of State of Origin, which, due respect to the Rugby World Cup, I think is the pinnacle of rugby league at the moment in terms of quality, was played for the first time in Papua New Guinea 80 years ago this year. And to see a Minister of the Marape government delivering the original trophy to the State of Origin Game 2 last year in Melbourne was incredibly emotional for me, resonated to me and showed the long history of rugby league in this country. And I can say, as a true fan of rugby league, I've been to most rugby league stadiums in Australia and there is no better atmosphere than right here. The crowd of 15,000 here is louder than a State of Origin or a grand final because the people of Papua New Guinea are fanatical. And that's why I'm so enthusiastic about this team, and it's part of the reason the Australian government is backing the vision of Prime Minister Marape. And I can say, hand on heart, a PNG team in the NRL has been talked about for decades, but it's only through the vision and leadership and sacrifice of Prime Minister Marape that it can be delivered. So I want to say thank you, Prime Minister Marape, for your leadership. And that's no disrespect to anyone else involved. Only through Prime Minister Marape has this been delivered. This team is a national unification project, as Prime Minister Marape said. It is truly his Mandela vision that I'm inspired by. But also bring the people of Australia and PNG together. And that's one of the many reasons the Australian government is backing it. It will unite our two great nations. You'll see thousands of Australians, hundreds of thousands of Australians will turn on their television every week and see games being played in Port Moresby, which will bring our people together. It's also about economic development. 5,000 Papua New Guineans will be employed through this process of building the Centre of Excellence, upgrading the stadium, running the franchise. That's 5,000 well-paid jobs for people of Papua New Guinea. Then every second week, depending on the draw, we're going to see thousands of Australians travelling to Port Moresby to watch their team lose against a Papua New Guinean team. And so that's going to be great for tourism, and it's going to put Port Moresby on the tourism map. So this is about economic development, it's about national unification, it's about unifying the proud peoples of our two countries only through the vision of Prime Minister Marape and his government, but also through the partnership with Prime Minister Albanese. I think, as been alluded to, just as 1975 was characterised as a partnership between Grand High Chief Sir Michael Samare and Gough Whitlam, this is the legacy of Marape Albanese. This project delivered amongst the 50th anniversary of PNG independence. So I'm very confident that the names Marape and Albanese will go down in the history of our region just like Samare and Whitlam did. And so I want to thank you for that as well. And then finally, I want to thank the NRL for being part of what I'm confident in saying is a world's first initiative. It takes bravery and vision from the NRL to be part of this incredibly important international project, because that's what it is. And when I go around the world and I speak to my colleagues, I say, can you give another example of where a country has used sport to unite two people? So no one can think of another example. So I want to thank Peter V'landys, I want to thank the board for their vision. Wayne and Peter have been up here many times, both have been early backers of this project, just like Peter V'landys. So thank you for the commission to be here, and thank you, Andrew, and the rest of the NRL team. Progress is being made. We've already heard announcement about the board. Money is flowing into this project. We're confident about meeting the timelines, and Prime Minister Marape will announce the process for the name as well. So I want to assure the taxpayers of Papua New Guinea and the taxpayers of Australia that we are on track. This project will succeed on the timelines we're talking about because it's in the national interest of both countries. And when we get this right, and I'll finish on this point, and I'll be a bit controversial, when we get this project delivered, through the huge investment of all three parties here, this will make Penrith look like the minnows of rugby league. It will make their juniors look like, dare I say, and I can say this as a fan, Sydney Rooster juniors. Because the 11 million population of PNG, the hundreds of thousands of juniors playing will flow through to have a team that will not just be competitive on the sporting fields, but will dominate in the years to come. So thank you for having me here, and I'm so excited about this project.
I'm the paid servant to try to push it along. I want to thank many who work behind the scene, the PNG B team, Wapu, Ian, yourself, Stan, Lona, every one of you, team from Santos, Leon, thank you, Tomas, Longibral, Santos, Holy name, yet start come. I just hope Santos is not taken over, but in any case, if it does happen, then we hope the culture continues. And every one of you who work in the PNGB team, this is your moment as much as my moment. Governor Parkov continues hospitality in the city to make sure it happens. Minister Chichenko, all the Minister for Sports and Higher Education before, Minister Kinoka, thank you, Tomas. And to the NRL board, Mr. Beatty, thank you, Lord Queensland. This is an extended part of Queensland. We call ourselves here. For those who support Maroons. Wayne, thank you, Tomas. Wayne Peace was here before. You block sound of Wayne Peace or not? Yeah, Tigers fan, Wayne Peace. When you stand up, now looking. You stand up, you can stand and they'll see you, so you can see. Fight man of Wayne Peace. And Peter Melodis. I'm sit down staff now. Peter Beatty, I'm former Premier Bloc Queensland. You like to former Premier Bloc Queensland. And Andrew, Peter, can you stand up? Yes, former Premier Bloc Queensland. And then you make out Andrew Upler, I'm CEO Bloc, you mean NRL, I'm sitting down staff. Andrew, you stand up. And of course, the guru himself, the chief, the main man here, Peter Valandis. He's a very strong leader in his own right in the Australian sports family and business cycle. Thank you for your strong commitment to making sure PNG team gets off the ground. Today I want to announce also, on behalf of the board, I want to announce that the board will put out team name competition. Team name competition. I have my own views towards what should be the team name, but I was telling High Commissioner yesterday that we don't run a military dictatorship here. We run a democratic country. 11 million people must decide on the name of the team. And so, Chairman Ray and the board here, your first job from the two governments, your first job is to really launch out the competition for the team name. It must be a name that at least 50, 60, 70% of the country supports. And Lorna, through you, you have the network in going out to Facebook and real-time competition, everyone. But it must not just be a name. There must be a motive behind the name. The strategy is about uniting our people and uniting PNG with Australia forever. And so you must have the name that resonates with this vision. Something that every child, doesn't matter where he or she comes from, identifies with going forward, and every Australian also has affinity to this name. It must be every Australian's second team. And I want to, for young Papua New Guineans and young Australians, impress on you. When myself and Prime Minister Albanese walked Kokoda Track last year, we rested in the second night at Isurova. And the chief there, I sat with him and conversed with him in the night. And I said, how comes you choose to be on the side of Australians and not Japanese in 1945 in the war period? And he said, I had no choice but to defend my territory. This is the question I asked. How comes you choose to be on the side of Australia and not Japanese during the Kokoda Trek War? And he said, I had no choice but to defend my territory. I was educated in that fireplace that night, that in 1945 up to 1975, or even before, we were governed out of Canberra and not Port Moresby. We were under one sovereignty and not two sovereignty. It was in 1975 that we became a nation. So lest we forget where we came from in our history, because only those who don't forget the history will excel and propel into the future. And I want children of this country, as you name your team and compete, find a name that resonates with our shared past, our presence today, and where we are going into the future as two people living side by side in this part of planet Earth, where out there so many violence in other parts of the earth. We want to keep our Pacific a safe, clean place for our children to live and coexist. So I want to ask the board, stage out, launch out the team naming competition and also the team song. The team song must go side by side with it. So let's go for competition. I can also tell you I'll be one of those who will beat him for the name. But I will not use my right. Just treat me just like everyone else in the three. All right, thank you too much. I'm going to Papua New Guinea and stop now. Australia to by demand on this big man, Andrew Abdon, Peter Valendez, and Moana. Thank you too much. Thank you too much.